In Highbridge on Main Street, located on the north side of town, you will find Highbridge's park called the Commons. The Commons offers a large parking area that Highbridge has permitted the county to advertise and use to all patrons coming to the area to use the Columbia Trail. Just be respective of other visitors. The Columbia Trail is a 7-mile corridor through the county that terminates at Vernoy Road, but the trail does continue into Morris County as a Morris Park for an additional 7 miles. This trail is used for all types of recreational activity, including hiking, bike riding, horseback riding, cross-country skiing, but please just be respectful to other visitors when you're doing those activities. The Columbia Trail is probably one of the most used trails in the area and is also used by the Highlands Trail, where it enters the county at Vernoy Road but leaves in the Kanako Gorge and works its way over to Spruce Run. If you're looking for an additional type of hiking, those are one spur that does veer off of the Columbia Trail. A short distance down the Columbia Trail, you will notice a set of steps leading up the one hillside. These are actually for the elementary school. The area of the Columbia Trail, the first 3 blocks through town, is used as a commuting zone for students when they report to the school. And this stretch of the trail is actually maintained by Highbridge Borough, and you may find it cleared of snow in the wintertime if you're a cross-country skier. Just be aware it's because of the kids who have to report to school, and be aware of the school times to reduce your encounters with the large numbers. Along some of the Columbia Trail, you will find some creative scenery along the edge of the trail. These areas are fairy houses. Um, they've been set up based on the local community. There are certain requirements that the county has set for their creation, whereas the items are meant to be made of native material or have the ability to um, break down into nature if forgotten about. But this is a community-based activity, creating the fairy houses for all who walk the trail and their enjoyment, as well as maybe the creative spirits that might be found along. There is a second spur off of the Columbia Trail. About 3/4 of a mile down its length, you will come across a Highbridge Trail that offers access to Lake Solitude and Solitude House, as well as a historical trail down in through the borough and to other locations. For more information about this trail, please contact the borough itself, but please be aware that the trail corridor connection is off of the Columbia Trail, and if you do take it, you've taken precautions to know which way you're to go. Okay, at the 4.5 mile marker coming from the north, or the 2.5 mile marker coming from Highbridge, this is where the Highlands Trail forks off the Columbia Trail and starts working towards Voorhees State Park. Remember, if you choose to follow this trail, you need to follow the blue diamond teals to make sure that you stay on the correct path. You will come out on 513 north of Voorhees at some point, and then have to walk the road until you re-enter the state park. But be aware that the Highlands Trail is one of the 2 spurs that does fork off the county stretch of the Columbia Trail. Just to the south side of the bridge crossing the river, you'll notice a beaten path to one side of the Columbia Trail. It's actually more than just a small diversion off the trail. This area served as a hobo camp back during the Great Depression. Because the train had to take a turn here to get across the river and continue on, hobos would hide up here on the slope, wait for the engine to pass, and then once out of sight, they would climb down and then jump onto the train without the engineers being able to see them jump the train. So again, why many people use it as a little nature diversion from the Columbia Trail, there's actually a bit of history hidden here on this one slope. Okay, about 3 miles north of High Bridge, 4 miles south of Verneuil Road, the trail crosses the south branch of the Raritan River. The crossing is on a long bridge about 100 feet above the water. Gives you a nice sort of scenic look down on the river and the surrounding valley. And you'll finally understand why it's called Kenlockwood Gorge here, because this is an area surrounded by other ridge lines, creating the river gorge in between. The gorge is also the one area of the trail in the days of the trains running on the trail where a wreck did occur, because the trail does make a curve when it crosses the river, and a train derailed and went down onto the side of the slopes of the river. There is a historical plaque you can read at the one end of the bridge that will give you more detail on the train wreck. The Columbia Trail actually goes through the middle of Calathon Borough, and one of the buildings it will pass is the old Calathon Rail Station, which was an operating rail station during the time the Columbia Trail actually ran trains. There are artifacts outside for your viewing, as well as a historical placard for you to read, but the building also serves as a little town museum by the Calathon Historical Society, and they do offer hours each month. The first and third Sundays, the building is open for public viewing, as well as contact with members of the society. If you can plan your trip accordingly, please take advantage and visit this museum as well. Okay, on the north side of Calathon is Calathon Island Park. It is the little borough park, so we can't overtax the parking lot, but it does offer opportunities for the public. It offers a place where you could park, and a short walk up the trail going north, you will find access to the Columbia Trail. It just offers a location where people can have a different point of access to the trail in case they don't want to do the full length from Verneuil Road or High Bridge, where the county is able to offer access for parking. This is just up the little road that I was just mentioning to show you the access point onto the Columbia Trail. There is also a little stone path area here that you can offer for parking, because you can see my vehicle there. But just to give you a field mark for where you can jump onto the Lansdowne Trail just north of the borough of Calathon. Okay, I'm at the north end finally of the Columbia Trail at 7 miles from High Bridge. We do have a little satellite area here that offers some parking. Can probably get about 6 cars and no more. Again, remember, we only basically own the trail base. But again, the Columbia Trail, as you can see when I get a little bit closer to the stones and the bar, it actually has a blue diamond teal on it. And again, this is where the Highlands Trail is entering Hunterdon County. The trail comes in from Morris County at Vernoy Road. The gate on the other side of the road is the official county line. The trail continues for about another 7 miles into Morris. And again, it's still part of the extension of the Highlands Trail, where I believe it will eventually branch off at the junction of their Patriots Trail heading up into Schooley's Mountain, I believe, but don't hold me to that. Again, it is a long continuous trail, 14 miles in grand total for the Columbia. Great for horseback riding, biking, hiking, and cross-country skiing in the wintertime if there is enough snowfall.